Chosen one, I speak to you now, not with human words, but with a message that has been sent straight from the very throne of heaven. You are not hearing this by accident, nor is this moment a mere coincidence. This is a divine appointment, a holy announcement that has been set apart for you, the chosen one. In this moment, heaven itself is stirring, and divine forces are aligning to reveal truth and to vindicate the path you have walked. You may not realize it yet, but you have been called into something greater than you ever imagined. The time has come for the truth of your divine calling to break through the lies and the deceptions that have surrounded you. You may have walked through seasons of silence, of struggles, of questions that seem to have no answers. But God has not forgotten you. Heaven has been watching, listening, and working on your behalf. Now, the moment of divine unveiling is here, and the truth that has been hidden from you is about to be revealed in all its power. The courts of heaven are in session. This is not just a passing moment, it is a holy declaration, a divine pronouncement that has been spoken over your life. In these heavenly courts, verdicts have been rendered, and divine judgment is now being executed. Those who have plotted against you, those who have schemed in secret to hold you back, are now facing the consequences of their actions. Their plans and deceptions are being exposed for what they truly are, and they will answer for the injustice they have done. But this is not a moment of vindictiveness. This is a moment of divine justice. Heaven has seen the wrongs that have been done to you, the lies, the betrayal, the confusion you have carried them, and now God's justice is at hand. The ones who sought to harm you will now face the consequences of their actions. Heaven has already begun to move on your behalf, and the divine consequences are unfolding even as we speak. As you sit in this moment, know this: the courts of heaven are in session, and divine verdicts have been rendered on your behalf. Every prayer, every plea, every moment of suffering you've endured has been heard and witnessed by the heavenly hosts. What the enemy meant for evil, God has already turned for your good. Every accusation, every lie, and every plot against you is now being overturned in the spiritual realm. Heaven has seen your pain, and now it is responding with divine authority and vindication. You may not have seen the immediate consequences of the enemy's schemes, but know this divine justice is at work. Heaven does not operate on earthly timelines. What seems like delay to you is actually divine preparation. The verdicts have already been issued. Those who plotted against you are now facing the consequences of their actions. This is not a moment for you to seek revenge or hold on to bitterness. Heaven is already moving on your behalf, executing divine justice and releasing favor in ways you could not have imagined. The spiritual realm is not as distant as it may seem. Every prayer you've whispered in the dark, every tear you've shed in private, every moment of perseverance you've exhibited has been recorded in heaven. The angels of justice are now carrying out heaven's decrees. The spiritual forces that have worked against you are now being overcome by the power of divine decree. You are not just waiting for change, you are living in the season of change. Your vindication has already begun. The purpose of this divine message is to awaken you to the truth that has been hidden from you. For too long, you have been walking in confusion, unsure of why things have unfolded the way they have. You have faced betrayal, misunderstanding, and rejection. You have questioned your purpose, your path, and your worth. But beloved, the truth is now being revealed. This is the moment when you will see clearly, when you will understand the depth of your calling, the purpose of your suffering, and the divine alignment of your life. God has called you not by mistake, but with purpose. Every moment of hardship, every setback, and every painful experience has been part of a divine strategy to bring you into alignment with His will. The truth that is being revealed to you is not just an awakening of knowledge, but an awakening of divine purpose. You were not meant to walk this earth in confusion. You were not meant to live in uncertainty. You were chosen for greatness. And now, It is time for you to understand why. In this moment, God is revealing the truth of your calling, and that truth will set you free. It will release you from the chains of fear, doubt, and insecurity. It will open your eyes to the divine alignment that has been working in your life all along. You will see yourself clearly, and you will see the world clearly, knowing that you are walking in the purpose God has ordained for you. This moment is your divine awakening. It is the moment when you step into the full awareness of who you are and what you are called to do. Beloved, I know that the attacks you faced have been real. The hurt, the betrayal, the disappointment, you have felt them deeply. You may have wondered if God was truly with you, if your prayers were heard, or if your suffering had any meaning at all. But hear this, the attacks were real, and God saw them all. He saw every moment of pain you endured. He heard every cry of your heart. He witnessed every moment of betrayal and deceit that came against you. But the truth I am bringing to you today is this: divine vindication is at hand. The plans of the enemy to harm you have failed, and now you will see God's justice unfold in your life. Heaven has already begun to move, and you will begin to see the consequences of the spiritual warfare waged against you. You are not alone in this battle. God has already sent his angels to fight on your behalf. The victory is yours, and you will soon see the evidence of God's faithfulness in your life. This is not just about getting even. This is about heaven's vindication, a divine turning of the tide in your favor. The enemies who sought your downfall will now see God's hand upon your life. They will see your elevation. They will see your restoration. They will witness the blessing that God is pouring out upon you, and they will know that heaven has favored you. Your divine vindication is not just about personal gain. It is about proclaiming God's glory. Through this process, heaven is showing the world that his chosen ones are protected and favored, no matter what the world may say. Divine justice is unfolding, and you, beloved, are the recipient of heaven's vindicating grace. God's justice is not delayed. It is not slow. Divine justice is moving, and it is happening right now. Heaven has already begun executing the consequences for those who have stood in opposition to you. The enemy's plans have already been overturned, and the blessings that were once withheld from you are now being released. You may not see it all at once, but know this: heaven is on the move, and divine justice will be revealed in its perfect timing. Every injustice you've suffered will be accounted for, and those who have sought to harm you will be forced to reckon with the truth of their actions. God's vengeance is not about destruction, it is about restoration. It is about righting the wrongs that were done to you and bringing you into alignment with the divine favor that has always been yours. This is your moment of vindication, beloved. Your suffering was not in vain. This is your moment of vain. This is your moment of vindication. This is your moment of vindication. This is your moment of vindication. The truth that is being revealed will bring you into the light of God's purpose, and through it, you will see restoration in your relationships, your finances, your health, and your spiritual walk. Divine justice is not just about punishment. It is about restoring what was stolen, healing what was broken, and bringing you into the fullness of your divine inheritance. Beloved, the divine announcement has been made. The courts of heaven have spoken, and you are walking in a season of divine vindication. The truth is being revealed, and as it is, the lies and deceptions that have bound you will fall away. You are entering into a new chapter, a chapter where God's justice will manifest in your life, and where you will walk in divine favor. The attacks you faced were real, but so is heaven's vindication. You are not forgotten. God has been with you every step of the way, and he is now revealing the truth that will set you free. The journey ahead will be one of restoration, elevation, and purpose. And you, beloved, are walking in the fullness of God's divine plan for your life. Now, it's time for you to step into your destiny with confidence, knowing that heaven has already begun executing the consequences for your enemies and restoring all that was stolen. The best is yet to come. Beloved, there are moments in life when it feels as though the world itself has turned against you, when everything you've known seems to be falling apart, and the weight of the struggle is too much to bear. What you may not realize is that the battle you are fighting is not just in the physical realm. It is a spiritual war, one that has been waged against you, without your permission, without your consent, but one that has been allowed by heaven as part of the divine plan for your life. You may have felt the sting of unseen attacks, the whispers, the betrayals, the things that have worked behind the scenes to undermine you and your calling. You may have faced misunderstanding, opposition, and even outright hostility from those around you. It might have seemed like an unjust battle, one where you were not prepared or equipped to fight. But I tell you this now, beloved, you were never meant to fight this battle alone. It was not a fight that you asked for, but it is one that has shaped you and strengthened you in ways that you may not even fully understand yet. What has seemed like a relentless attack against your spirit, your mind, and your very purpose has been a spiritual war orchestrated in the unseen realms. It is a war between light and darkness, between the divine calling placed upon your life and the forces that have sought to destroy it. These forces, whether they manifest in the form of people, circumstances, or demonic opposition, have tried to diminish you, to keep you from stepping into your full purpose. Yet, beloved, the very fact that you are still here, standing, thriving, and victorious despite the forces that have sought your downfall, is a testament to the strength and resilience that God has placed inside of you. You were chosen for this battle, and though you may not have asked for it, God has equipped you with everything you need to overcome. Through every trial, every moment of struggle, and every season of opposition, you have continued to rise. You may have wondered why these battles came upon you, why the spiritual warfare seemed to intensify when all you wanted was peace and purpose. But the divine perspective is clear. These battles were never meant to break you. They were meant to refine you, to equip you for what God has destined for your life. You are still standing because God has fortified you, and now you are on the brink of stepping into a season of divine victory. The mistakes of the enemy are clear. They misunderstood your strength. They saw you as weak, as someone who could be easily broken, manipulated, or destroyed. But what they failed to realize is that you are not fighting in your own strength. You are fighting with the strength of heaven's army behind you, with the power of God's anointing upon you, and with the protection of your divine bloodline. Now, as the forces that sought your downfall begin to crumble, their mistake will be evident. They underestimated the power that resides within you, and now their downfall is certain. What the enemy failed to recognize in their attack was the power of your bloodline, a bloodline that is empowered by the divine protection of God Himself. You may not always see it, but your ancestral line has been ordained for greatness. From the moment you were born, heaven's protection has been upon you, tracing back through the generations before you, stretching from the past into the future with divine purpose. Your bloodline is marked by God's hand and is a vessel of His protection, favor, and strength. The enemy cannot see what you carry within you, the legacy of divine strength that runs through your veins. They do not know the ancestors that stand beside you in the spiritual realm, those who have fought for you long before you even realized it. Your ancestors, the ones who paved the way before you, who fought battles that were never fully seen, have laid the foundation for your victory. They were the prayer warriors, the faithful servants, and the intercessors who, though they are no longer physically with you, still stand with you in the spirit, interceding on your behalf. The truth is, beloved, you are never fighting alone. You are not isolated in this battle. You have a spiritual army that is fighting alongside you. The angels of heaven are assigned to protect you, and the ancestors who came before you have already secured a victory in the spiritual realm. These forces are operating on your behalf, even when you cannot see them, ensuring that no weapon formed against you will prosper. Isaiah 54:17. Your divine bloodline carries the weight of generational favor, and the protection of your ancestors covers you like an invisible shield. Every battle you face has been foreseen, and every spiritual weapon that has been sent against you has already been overcome by the power of your legacy. The enemy may think they can break you, but they are wrong. They cannot touch what is divinely protected. As you walk forward in your purpose, know that heaven's army is working on your behalf. Your ancestors are guiding you, protecting you, and interceding for you. They are not passive spectators in your journey, they are active participants in the divine process. You are surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses, Hebrews 12:1, and their prayers have set the stage for your victory. The enemy's greatest mistake in this spiritual war was underestimating your strength. They saw you as weak, vulnerable, and easily manipulated. They thought that by attacking you, they could weaken your resolve and make you question your worth and your purpose. But what they did not know was that God's power within you cannot be shaken. You were chosen to carry divine authority, and your strength comes not from yourself, but from the Holy Spirit that resides within you. The enemy may have seen your tears, your moments of vulnerability, and mistook them for weakness. But these moments were not signs of defeat, they were moments of refinement. Every tear that fell was an offering to God. Every moment of pain was a step towards the divine purpose that God has set before you. The enemy did not understand that God was using the very attacks against you to strengthen you, to purify your spirit, and to prepare you for the greater victory that was ahead. What the enemy did not realize is that you have been divinely positioned for this moment. You are walking in the strength of generations before you, in the power of the Holy Spirit, and in the anointing that God has placed on your life. The attacks they have thrown at you will not destroy you. They will only strengthen you. You are walking in the authority of God, and no weapon formed against you will prosper. As you move forward, beloved, the enemy will see their mistakes. They will see that they have messed with the wrong person, that they have underestimated the divine power that resides in you. Their plans have already failed, and they will soon see the consequences of their actions. You are standing as a testament to God's power, and the very things they hoped would break you will be the things that propel you forward into your divine destiny. Beloved, though the battle has been fierce and the attacks have been real, you are still here, standing strong, thriving, and victorious. The forces that have come against you have failed, and the victory that you have been promised is already yours. You have been chosen for this battle, and God's divine protection has surrounded you, even when you could not see it. The mistakes of the enemy will become their downfall, and as you walk forward in your purpose, you will experience a divine victory that has been secured by the strength of heaven's army and the faithful prayers of your ancestors. You are not alone in this fight. You are empowered, protected, and anointed for greatness. Heaven is with you. Your victory is certain. The enemy has underestimated your strength, and now they will see the mighty hand of God at work in your life. Keep standing, beloved, because the divine vindication that is coming is far greater than anything you have ever imagined. Beloved, the moment has come for the truth to be fully unveiled, the truth that has been hidden for so long, the truth that you have sensed but couldn't yet see clearly. You have walked through seasons where your spirit was restless, your heart uneasy, and your mind clouded by doubts and uncertainties. Those feelings were not simply the result of confusion or anxiety, they were divine intuitions, guiding you towards the reality that has now been fully revealed. The attacks on your life were not random. They were not mere coincidences, but were carefully orchestrated with purposeful malice, designed to keep you from walking in the fullness of your divine destiny. You may have questioned, at times, whether the struggles you faced were just part of life's natural ebb and flow, or whether they were actually part of a greater spiritual war. Now, the truth is clear. These attacks were not only real, but they were strategically planned. Those who sought to harm you or undermine your path were operating under the influence of forces far beyond the human realm. Forces that understood the power of your divine calling and sought to extinguish it before it could fully manifest. What may have appeared as simple misunderstandings, disagreements, or even misfortunes in the past were, in fact, part of a deliberate scheme to divert you, distract you, and mislead you from your divine path. Whether it came in the form of betrayal, lies, or manipulation, these attacks were not just happenstances, they were purposeful. The enemy saw your potential, your anointing, and your destiny, and sought to derail you before you could step into the fullness of your divine calling. This revelation is not to condemn you, but to set you free. The truth that has been hidden is now exposed. You have carried the weight of confusion, pain, and doubt for far too long, wondering if the difficulties you encountered were somehow your fault. But now, you see that the real reason behind the challenges you faced was not your lack of faith or your mistakes, but a spiritual attack designed to block you from your purpose. It is time to release the shame and the guilt that has held you captive. The struggle you have faced was not because you were unworthy, it was because you were marked for greatness, and the enemy knew it. The spiritual forces that opposed you sought to keep you in the dark, to keep you from realizing the divine favor that was on your life. But now, the veil is lifted, and everything that was once hidden is coming into full view. Beloved, let me speak to you about the restlessness you felt. You have lived through moments where your spirit felt unsettled, your emotions frazzled, and your heart uncertain. At times, you may have even wondered if there was something wrong with you, or if your faith was lacking because you couldn't find peace in certain situations. But in truth, your unease was divine guidance. The Spirit was stirring you, leading you to a place of spiritual awareness, so that you would discern the truth that was hidden. Restlessness is often a sign that God is calling you to action or revealing a hidden truth. You were never meant to live in confusion or fear, but the struggle was part of your spiritual awakening. The discomfort you felt in your spirit was God's whisper, urging you to open your eyes to the deception around you. This divine intuition was not a random feeling. It was the Spirit of God moving within you, prompting you to seek the truth, to press deeper into your relationship with Him, and to trust that He would reveal what was hidden. You were being prepared, beloved. Even when the world seemed to be in chaos, and your emotions were torn between uncertainty and clarity, the Spirit was guiding you towards divine revelation. The unease that you felt was not just an emotional reaction, it was a spiritual compass that led you directly to the truth. Now that the veil is being lifted, you will see that the discomfort was not a sign of your failure, but a sign of divine preparation. The enemy may have believed that they could keep you in the dark, but your spirit was always alert, always discerning. God was with you, leading you to the place where you could finally see the truth and understand what was happening behind the scenes. Your intuition, guided by the Holy Spirit, has been a constant reminder that there was more to the story, and now you are walking into the fullness of that revelation. As the veil is finally lifted, beloved, confirmation will come. What once seemed to be just coincidence, misunderstanding, or misfortune is now being revealed for what it truly was: betrayal, manipulation, and hidden agendas. Relationships that you once trusted, situations that you thought were aligned with your purpose, are now being exposed for what they were: distractions and blocks sent by the enemy to prevent you from stepping into your divine destiny. Some of these betrayals were subtle deceptions that were so carefully hidden that they were difficult to discern at first. But now, as the light of truth shines upon them, you will see the full picture. Those who once smiled in your face, who once promised to stand by you, may now be revealed for their true intentions. You may discover that those you trusted most were actually the ones working against you, subtly undermining your progress, sowing seeds of doubt, and disrupting your divine path. This unveiling may feel painful, beloved, but it is necessary for your spiritual liberation. The truth that is coming into view will be difficult to accept, but it will also bring you a profound freedom. Freedom from the chains of deception, freedom from the burdens of misplaced trust, and freedom from the mental fog that has clouded your understanding. The truth of betrayal is hard to face, but it is the key to your spiritual awakening. You must release the people, the situations, and the beliefs that have held you back. Those who have acted with deceit will face the consequences of their actions, but for you, this is the moment of liberation. You are no longer bound by the emotional weight of these relationships. As you release the hurt, the pain, and the confusion, you will find yourself free to walk in the full truth of who you are and what you are called to do. Beloved, truth brings freedom. It is the key that unlocks the door to your spiritual destiny. The lies that have held you captive, the false beliefs that have kept you bound, and the deceptions that have clouded your vision are being shattered right now. As the truth is revealed, it will set you free, free from the confusion, free from the pain, and free from the chains of false identities that have kept you from walking in your true purpose. The clarity that comes with the truth will light your path. You will begin to see clearly, no more fog, no more confusion. You will understand, as never before, the purpose behind every trial, every tribulation, and every relationship that has come into your life. The divine alignment that has been set in motion is now becoming visible to you. God's plan is unfolding, and you are walking into the fullness of His purpose. No longer will you be a prisoner of the past. The truth will release you from the weight of the old wounds and false narratives that have held you back. Your freedom is here. You will be able to see your life from the divine perspective, understanding that every challenge, every setback, and every betrayal was a part of the process that brought you here. The truth is not here to break you. It is here to make you whole, to align you with your true purpose, and to empower you to walk forward with confidence and strength. The truth that has been hidden is now revealed. What once seemed like betrayal, manipulation, and confusion will now make sense in light of the truth. You will understand that the attacks against you were not random. They were part of a spiritual battle that you were meant to win. You have been prepared for this moment, and the revelation of the truth will lead you to a place of divine freedom and clarity. God has not allowed these trials to break you. He has allowed them to prepare you. As the veil lifts and the truth is revealed, you will walk into a new season, a season where you are no longer held back by illusion or deception. You will walk forward with spiritual clarity, knowing that God has been with you every step of the way, guiding you, protecting you, and empowering you to fulfill your divine purpose. The truth has set you free now. Step into the fullness of your divine calling. Beloved, in this divine moment, you are called to face a truth that, while painful, is essential for your spiritual freedom and growth. The truth is this: betrayal, a concept that has haunted you in the shadows, is not always what it seems. There have been betrayals disguised as loyalty, trust, and even friendship. People who smiled in your face, spoke words of encouragement, and professed to have your best interests at heart, while secretly working against your success, your peace, and your divine calling. You trusted them. You believed in their words and their promises, and for a time, you believed they would stand with you, fight for you, and support you on your journey. But now, as the truth is revealed, you realize that these very individuals have worked in the shadows, undermining your efforts, spreading lies, and weaving a web of deceit to keep you from achieving your true potential. The trust you placed in them was betrayed, and now the truth has come to light. Understand this, beloved. Their betrayal was not a reflection of your worth. It is not a testament to your failures or shortcomings. It was never about you. It was about the enemy's plan to destroy your purpose. These betrayals were not just personal offenses. They were spiritual attacks designed to derail you from your divine path. The enemy knows that you are chosen, and the only way they could attempt to stop your purpose was by getting close to you, by deceiving you into thinking that they were allies when they were, in fact, working against you. But here is the key, beloved. These betrayals, these false friends, were never meant to break you. In fact, they were a part of God's perfect plan. You see, what the enemy meant for harm, God will use for your good. Romans 8:28. Every betrayal you faced, every lie that was whispered, every moment of manipulation that you endured, was part of the refining process that God has been taking you through. It was never about you being defeated. It was always about you being prepared for something greater. Even now, as you read these words, Know that the ancestors who have gone before you, those who have fought battles you will never see, were aware of every attack. They were watching, they were praying, they were interceding on your behalf. Heaven's armies were mobilized long before you even realized it. And now, the time has come for those forces to rise up and dismantle the plans of those who sought to bring you down. The spiritual lineage that you carry is not just a physical inheritance, it is a divine empowerment passed down through generations. Your ancestors, those who have stood for truth and righteousness, have watched over you. They have seen every attack, every lie, and every plot designed to disrupt your purpose. But now, beloved, heaven's divine protection is in full operation, and those who have worked against you will see the consequences of their actions. The veil has been lifted, and the truth is now being revealed for all to see. Their betrayal will no longer go unnoticed. Divine justice is being executed on your behalf. Beloved, I understand that the revelation of betrayal can be painful. It may feel like a wound that cuts deep into your spirit, one that brings with it confusion, hurt, and even anger. The sting of being betrayed by those you trusted is not easy to bear, but let me remind you of this truth. The pain of betrayal will become the path to your emotional freedom. God has allowed this revelation to break open your heart so that He can heal it. The truth that you have been hiding from the truth that you have been afraid to confront is the key to your healing. Betrayal is often the hardest truth to face, but it is necessary for your growth. You cannot step into the fullness of your divine calling while still carrying the weight of betrayal, disappointment, and mistrust. Healing begins when you acknowledge the hurt and allow God to work in the deepest parts of your spirit. The emotional release that comes from facing this truth will be transformative. For years, you may have carried the pain of broken trust, the weight of unspoken hurts, and the shadow of false relationships. But now, as the veil is lifted, you can release those burdens. You can let go of the emotional chains that have kept you bound. The truth may be painful, but it will set you free. It will release you from the hold that betrayal has had on your heart. The moment you decide to let go of the resentment, the anger, and the bitterness that have been festering within you, you will begin to feel a sense of peace and freedom like never before. You have carried these wounds for far too long, but now, beloved, it is time to release them. You are no longer bound to the past. You are no longer chained by the actions of those who betrayed you. God's divine healing is available to you. And as you allow yourself to release the emotional weight, you will be set free. The process of emotional release is not just about letting go, it is about cleansing and restoration. This is the divine purification that is taking place within you. The pain that you have felt, the betrayals you've endured, and the wounds you've carried are all part of the cleansing process. These experiences were meant to refine you, to strengthen your faith, and to prepare you for the greater purpose that God has for your life. As the emotional weight begins to lift, you will find yourself stepping into a higher version of yourself. The false beliefs you held about your own worth, the insecurities you harbored, and the fear that you carried for so long will no longer have power over you. God is restoring your identity, renewing your mind, and transforming your spirit. You will walk forward with a new understanding of who you are in Christ. And the past will no longer have a hold on your future. God's restoration is not just about healing the heart, it is about rebuilding you into the person you were always meant to be. You will walk with greater authority, greater confidence, and greater clarity than you ever have before. The betrayal you faced was part of the divine process, a process that is now leading you to a place of spiritual maturity, divine purpose, and victory. Beloved, the cleansing that has taken place within your spirit is a necessary part of your spiritual restoration. As you release the emotional baggage, as you face the truth of the betrayals, and as you forgive those who have wronged you, you will find that God's favor is being poured out upon your life in ways you never thought possible. The pain of the past will be replaced with the peace of God's presence, and the wounds that once defined you will now be healed by His divine touch. Now, as you walk into the fullness of your calling, you will do so as someone who has been refined, restored, and empowered. You will no longer walk in the shadows of betrayal or disappointment. You will walk in the light of truth, knowing that God's plan for your life is greater than anything you've experienced up until now. Beloved, the process of unmasking betrayal, of facing the truth of what has been hidden, is not easy, but it is essential for your spiritual journey. God is revealing the truth to you now, not to harm you, but to heal you. The pain of betrayal, the weight of hidden wounds, and the burdens of past disappointments are being released so that you can step into a higher version of yourself. The truth has been revealed, and now, healing begins. As you release the emotional weight, as you forgive those who have hurt you, and as you embrace God's restoration, you will walk forward in divine strength, clarity, and peace. The divine purpose that has always been yours will now be manifested in your life, and the favor of God will surround you. You are being restored, beloved. The pain of the past will no longer define you. You are now stepping into the fullness of your divine calling, and nothing at all can stand in your way. Beloved, you are not walking this path alone. You are surrounded by an army of spiritual ancestors, those who came before you, those who fought battles in the unseen realms, and those who prayed for you long before you even knew the full extent of your divine calling. Their protection has been a shield around your life, and their sacrifices and prayers have built a spiritual fortress that no force of darkness can penetrate. It's easy to forget, especially in times of hardship, that you are not only the product of your own efforts but of the faithful generations that came before you. Every ancestor who walked before you paved a path that, though unseen in the physical realm, has been guiding you, protecting you, and preparing you for this very moment. Their prayers, their acts of faith, and the sacrifices they made have created a foundation for you to stand on. While you may feel like you've been facing battles that are beyond your control, understand that those battles are not your own to fight. You stand on the shoulders of spiritual giants who have interceded on your behalf. Their voices echo in the spiritual realm, crying out for your protection and your victory. And in the divine courts of heaven, their voices are heard, and the spiritual protection they built for you is activated. The enemy has underestimated the power of your bloodline. What they did not realize is that they were not only attacking you, they were attacking a legacy of faith, a legacy of divine favor, and a legacy of protection that spans generations. These generations were not forgotten, and their prayers were not in vain. Now, in this very moment, their spiritual intervention is shielding you, and their protection has set in motion divine justice that will undo everything the enemy has tried to bring against you. You are a living testimony to the faith and sacrifice of those who came before you. As you walk forward in your destiny, know that the protective covering of your ancestors is over you. This protection has shielded you from harm, from curses that sought to bind you, from generational curses and strongholds that should have ensnared you. The favor of God, passed down through generations, has kept you alive, strong, and aligned with your divine purpose. In the spiritual realm, your ancestors are fighting with you, interceding for you, and ensuring that every attack against your life is rendered powerless. They are present, even if you cannot see them, and their prayers are working on your behalf to ensure that the divine protection around your life remains intact. You are not alone in this battle. Heaven has prepared you, and the ancestors' covering is part of that divine preparation. Beloved, the time of vindication has come, and divine justice is about to unfold swiftly. For those who have targeted you, those who have plotted against you, and those who have tried to undermine your divine calling, they will now face the repercussions of their actions. The spiritual consequences of their choices are inevitable. Heaven's justice is swift, and those who have attacked you, whether through lies, betrayal, or manipulation, will now experience the consequences of their actions. The energy they spent trying to break you, trying to derail your purpose, will now return to them, multiplied. What they sowed in evil, they will now reap in pain. This is the divine law of karma, where what is done in the darkness will be exposed and punished. The lies, the betrayals, the manipulations, and the deceit they used against you will return to them. Heaven does not forget. Those who have wronged you will experience swift consequences, and divine justice will make sure that they are brought to account for their actions. The repercussions for the enemies who targeted you will manifest in various forms in their health, in their finances, and in their personal lives. The attacks they sent against you will return to them in ways they did not foresee. Those who thought they could break you will now face the breaking of their own foundations. Those who have plotted against your well-being will now experience unforeseen health challenges. They may suffer from illnesses, accidents, or deteriorating conditions that they cannot explain. Their physical bodies will pay the price for the spiritual attacks they have waged against you. Just as they tried to harm you physically, their own health will be compromised. Those who have manipulated or deceived you for personal gain will now see their finances begin to deteriorate. What they gained through deceit will slip through their fingers. Their business deals will fail, their investments will collapse, and the wealth they built off of manipulation will begin to erode. The favor they once thought they had will turn to loss and misfortune. The relationships they have carefully built will begin to unravel. The alliances they formed through deceit will break down. People they have manipulated will turn away, leaving them isolated and alone. The harmony they once had in their personal lives will turn to conflict, betrayal, and separation. Heaven is making sure that the justice for the evil they've done is swift and just. No one who has targeted you, no matter how much power they hold, can escape the consequences of their actions. Their plots to hurt you will now backfire, and the very forces they employed to undermine your destiny will become the tools of their own downfall. Beloved, the energy the enemy has expended on trying to sabotage your life will now return to them tenfold. They thought they could manipulate you, harm you, or divert you from your calling. But now, the laws of spiritual justice are in motion. The karma they have created is returning to them stronger, harsher, and more powerful than anything they anticipated. Karma is not just a spiritual concept. It is a divine principle that governs the universe. What you sow, you reap. The energy they put into oppressing you will come back to them. The malice they sent your way will now return tenfold. What they meant for your destruction will be turned against them for their own detriment. They may have thought they were getting away with their actions in secret, but no one can escape divine retribution. Heaven sees all, and the consequences of their actions are already being manifested. The forces they worked with, be it greed, pride, envy, or hatred, are now coming back to them, and they will experience the full weight of their choices. As you walk through this moment of divine justice, understand that you are not alone in your vindication. The ancestors who have gone before you have been fighting for you, interceding on your behalf, and preparing the spiritual ground for this very moment. They have seen the wrongdoing done to you, and their spiritual intervention has ensured that divine justice would be executed at the right time. The spiritual army that is fighting on your behalf is not just made up of angels, it is made up of the faithful warriors who came before you. The prayers of your ancestors, their sacrifices, and their faith have all contributed to this divine moment. They are mobilized now, ensuring that those who tried to destroy you will face the consequences of their actions. The spiritual forces they wield are now being used to disarm the enemy's plots and to bring justice to your life. The ancestors' protection is not just a shield that keeps you safe. It is a spiritual force that is actively working to dismantle every lie, every scheme, and every attack that has been sent your way. Through their prayers, through their sacrifices, and through their spiritual wisdom, the ancestors have ensured that your path is protected. Now, as divine justice moves, the veil of deceit is being lifted, and the enemies who targeted you will face the full weight of their actions. Beloved, divine justice is in motion, and vindication is at hand. The enemy who has sought to harm you, deceive you, and derail your divine destiny is now facing the consequences of their actions. Karma is in action, and the spiritual forces that have conspired against you will be dismantled by the protection of your ancestors and the power of divine justice. You are not alone in this battle. The ancestors who fought for you before, the spiritual army assigned to your destiny, and heaven's angels are all actively working on your behalf. You are protected, vindicated, and empowered. The victory that was meant to be stolen from you is being restored. As you walk forward, know that you are stepping into a new season of divine favor, restoration, and elevation. This moment of divine justice is the beginning of a new chapter in your life. One where you will walk in your full authority, knowing that heaven's army is with you and that the plans of the enemy have been rendered powerless. Stand firm, beloved, and trust in the protection of your ancestors, the strength of divine justice, and the favor of God that surrounds you. You are victorious, beloved. The time has come. The divine justice that has been set in motion is now beginning to unfold. You have walked through seasons of pain, of misunderstanding, and of rejection. Many times, it may have seemed like you were overlooked, like the world was blind to your worth, and like you were fighting alone. But know this, your struggles were never in vain. They were part of the divine process that God has used to prepare you for this very moment, the moment of your vindication. In the fullness of time, as divine justice unfolds, you will stand not only as a survivor, but as a living testimony to the power of God's grace. The world may have seen you suffer, seen you struggle, and even misunderstood your journey. But what they didn't see was the strength that God was cultivating within you. You were not abandoned in your trials. You were being refined for something far greater. Now, as the truth is revealed, as divine vindication takes place, you will see that everything you went through was not only for your growth, but also for the manifestation of God's purpose in your life. God's favor is about to become undeniable in your life. The truth of your divine calling will be evident for all to see. You have been chosen to fulfill a purpose far greater than yourself. And now, the world will bear witness to the hand of God upon your life. The shame that once clung to you will be replaced by glory. The doubts and misunderstandings that surrounded you will be shattered by the power of divine vindication. God is elevating you in the eyes of those who once doubted you, and they will be forced to recognize that God's favor has always been upon you. Beloved, this moment is not just for you to be seen, it is for God's glory to be revealed. You are not just surviving, you are being elevated, restored, and vindicated in ways that will be a testimony to all. Divine justice will not be subtle. It will be loud. It will be undeniable. God's favor will be so evident in your life that those who once doubted will have no choice but to recognize it. The elevation that is coming will be public. It will not be hidden. You are about to shine in the light of divine favor like never before. Your testimony, beloved, will not just be of survival. It will be a testimony of strength, of resilience, and of unwavering faith. You have faced opposition from places you never expected, from family, friends, and even those you trusted the most. The enemy has used every tactic at their disposal to try to break you, but God has kept you strong. Now, you will rise as someone who has been elevated despite opposition, someone who has been tested and proven faithful. Every moment of your struggle, every battle you fought, every tear you shed was not for nothing. These trials have refined you, and through them, God has strengthened your spirit. Now, you are about to stand in a place of spiritual authority, not because of your own strength, but because of the God who has been with you every step of the way. This is your moment, the moment when your strength will be evident to all, not in the form of arrogance, but in the form of divine authority and humility. Your opposition has served to elevate you. The enemy thought they could break you, but all they did was help you grow stronger. They did not realize that the more they attacked, the more you were being refined in the fire of God's purpose. Your strength is not your own. It is God's strength manifesting in you. And now, as the chosen one, you will walk forward with the confidence that God has placed His hand upon you, and there is no weapon formed against you that will prosper. Isaiah 54:17. This is the testimony of unshakable strength, a strength that comes from walking through fire and emerging purified. You will not just be seen as someone who survived the battle, but as someone who overcame the battle, not by your own power, but by the power of God working in you. Your testimony will be a beacon of hope for others who are walking through their own trials. They will look at your life and see the evidence of what is possible when you trust God to lead you through the storm. As divine vindication unfolds in your life, there will be a profound shift in your relationships. Some relationships will be severed, but others will be restored. This is not about holding on to people or situations that no longer align with your purpose. It is about embracing the divine separation that is taking place in your life to make room for what God has in store for you. You will see that those relationships that were rooted in misunderstanding, manipulation, or false motives will naturally fall away. God will sever those ties that were preventing you from stepping into your full divine purpose. While this process may bring temporary discomfort, understand that this is divine protection. Some people were never meant to walk into the next season with you, and God is lovingly removing them to ensure you can step forward unhindered. But beloved, there is hope. Not all relationships are meant to be severed. As God moves in your life, there will be restorations, especially with those who have always been rooted in truth and love. Those who doubted you, those who misunderstood your calling, or even those who once turned their back on you in your time of need will see the truth of your divine purpose and come back to you with humility and reverence. They will recognize the hand of God upon your life and align with your divine calling. What may have seemed like irreparable relationships will be restored, but only through divine intervention. God will bring people into your life who see you clearly, who understand the truth of your calling, and who will walk with you in your next season. The relationships that have been purified will become stronger, and you will find yourself surrounded by authentic, supportive connections that align with God's purpose for your life. You are no longer bound by the toxic relationships of the past. God is restoring what was lost and replacing what was broken with people who will truly support and uplift you. To fully step into your divine restoration, beloved, you must release the hurt and bitterness that you've carried. The pain of betrayal, of being misunderstood, and of experiencing loss is real, but it is time to release it. God's restoration can only fully take place when you let go of what has been holding you back, the weight of the past, the hurt, and the bitterness. This does not mean you ignore the pain, or that you pretend as if nothing happened. What it means is that you choose to release the emotional weight of these past experiences so that they do not continue to have power over you. Forgiveness is a necessary part of this process. Forgiveness does not excuse the hurt that was caused. It simply frees you to move forward and to walk in the fullness of your calling. Releasing the past does not diminish the hurt, it liberates your heart from being bound by the pain of it. The divine restoration that God has for you is only possible when you let go of the toxic emotions that have kept you shackled. These emotions, fear, anger, resentment, regret, are holding you back from fully experiencing the peace and freedom that God has for you. Releasing them is not an easy task, but it is a necessary step in the process of your healing and restoration. When you let go of the bitterness, you are freeing your spirit to embrace all that God has in store for you. God is calling you to walk forward in freedom, free from the pain of your past, free from the shackles of betrayal, and free to walk into the fullness of your divine purpose. Let go of the hurt, release the bitterness, and allow God to do the deep work of healing in your heart. Beloved, the restoration and vindication that God is bringing into your life are not just about the past being redeemed. They are about your future being aligned with His perfect will. As divine justice unfolds, you are walking into a new season of elevation, restoration, and peace. You are no longer bound by the lies, betrayal, and manipulation of the past. God is restoring everything that was stolen, and He is elevating you to a place where His favor will be evident in every area of your life. Walk forward with confidence, knowing that you have been vindicated by heaven, restored by God's grace, and empowered to fulfill your divine purpose. This is your season of divine favor. Everything that was meant for your harm has been turned for your good, God's restoration is not just about returning what was lost. It is about giving you something far greater, a life of purpose, peace, and divine alignment with His will. Embrace the restoration that is coming to you. Let go of the past and walk boldly into your future. You are the chosen one, and your vindication and restoration are here. Step into the fullness of what God has planned for you, knowing that He has always been with you, and that He will never leave you. Beloved, you may not always have seen it with your natural eyes, but throughout every trial, every season of pain, and every attack that has come against you, there has been one constant force at work in your life: divine protection. The enemy has sought to destroy you, to discourage you, and to steal the purpose God has placed within you. But the truth that you can now stand firm in is this: the forces of darkness that were sent against you have been repelled by the divine protection that has been placed around your life. Heaven's armies have been with you, shielding you from what the enemy intended to destroy. You may have been unaware of the spiritual battles being waged on your behalf. But trust this: every attack that has been aimed at your life, whether it was physical, emotional, or spiritual, has been met with divine intervention. God's protection has kept you standing when you should have fallen, kept you alive when the enemy sought to take your life, and kept your heart intact when others tried to break it. Nothing has touched you that has not been allowed by God, and even then, He has protected you from the worst of it. The ancestors who have gone before you have played an integral part in this protection. Their prayers, their sacrifices, and their spiritual legacy have formed a spiritual shield around your life. You carry their blessings, and their faithfulness has fortified you against the spiritual forces that sought to destroy you. The bloodline you are a part of is empowered by divine protection. Your ancestors, those who have stood in faith before you, have interceded on your behalf, and their prayers have created an unbreakable wall of protection around your destiny. Even when you felt the heaviness of the enemy's schemes, even when you were unaware of the spiritual attacks coming your way, God's protection was there, constant and unseen. The attacks that were meant to destroy you were turned aside by the divine hand that has always watched over you. You were never abandoned in your struggles. Even in the darkest moments, God was fighting for you, and the forces of darkness that came against you could not touch the purpose that God has placed in your life. The divine protection around you is stronger than any force the enemy could send. And now, as you step into your next season, know that you are walking under the full coverage of heaven's favor. God has always been your protector, but He has not sent you into battle alone. The ancestors who have gone before you have been a stronghold around your life. Their spiritual legacy is not just a memory of what they once did, it is an active, living force in the spiritual realm. Their prayers have been your shield, their faith has been your armor, and their sacrifice has paved the way for your victory. They have watched over you, even when you didn't realize it, ensuring that the plans of the enemy could not succeed. Your ancestors knew the importance of spiritual warfare. They knew that the spiritual battles would pass down through the generations, and they stood in the gap for you, interceding on your behalf. Now, their prayers and their faithfulness are coming to fruition in your life. The protection they built for you is active and alive, surrounding you with divine security that no power can penetrate. When the enemy thought they could bring you down, when the forces of darkness sought to ensnare you, the covering of your ancestors held you safe. They have stood by you, interceding, praying, and shielding you from harm. This divine protection is more than just a defense. It is a legacy of favor and strength that continues to flow into your life, ensuring that you are always guarded and never alone. Your ancestors' protection is not only about shielding you in the present, but also about breaking the chains of past struggles, undoing generational curses, and positioning you for victory. As you move forward, step confidently, knowing that the protection of your ancestors is around you, keeping you aligned with God's perfect purpose. They are not just distant figures, they are active participants in your divine journey, and their spiritual power is manifesting in your life right now. As the forces of opposition fall away, divine favor will flood your life like a mighty river. The favor of God is not just a blessing. It is a force that opens doors, removes obstacles, and brings overflowing abundance. You are not stepping into this season empty-handed. You are stepping into a season where the favor of God will manifest in your life in ways you could never have imagined. Divine favor is not earned. It is bestowed. It is the overflow of God's grace, the manifestation of His love and His divine will in your life. As the enemies who sought your destruction are scattered, the floodgates of heaven are opening, and the blessings that were once held back will begin to flow freely into every area of your life. Financial favor will come in ways you never thought possible. The struggles you faced in your finances, the moments when you thought there was no way forward, will now be replaced with abundance. God will open doors of provision that were previously closed to you. Opportunities for growth, promotion, and prosperity are coming your way. The resources you need to fulfill your purpose will flow in abundance. This is the time for you to step forward into financial blessing, knowing that God's provision is aligned with His perfect will for your life. Relational favor will also flood your life. Those relationships that were broken, strained, or misunderstood will now be restored. The people who were once hostile or distant will come back to you with humility, realizing that the hand of God is upon you. This is the moment when peace will be restored in your relationships. God is aligning you with people who will support you, encourage you, and walk alongside you in this new season. Relationships that were once lost will be reconciled by the favor of God. Most importantly, spiritual favor will flood your soul. This is the time when you will experience divine alignment with God's will for your life. You will feel a greater connection to His presence, a deeper understanding of His purpose for you, and a renewed sense of calling. Your spiritual gifts will be activated, and the anointing God has placed on your life will become more evident than ever. You will step into a new level of intimacy with God, where your prayers are answered swiftly, your discernment is sharper, and your relationship with the Holy Spirit will be closer than ever before. Beloved, as divine protection surrounds you and divine favor is poured out upon you, it is important to understand that this season of blessing is also a season of recompense. God is not just restoring what was lost. He is replacing it with more than you ever had before. This is a season of divine restoration, where the spiritual debts and losses you have faced will be paid back tenfold. In your finances, you will see the restoration of resources that were taken from you. Where there was once lack, now there will be abundance. The opportunities you missed will return to you in even greater form, and God will multiply the fruit of your labor. The prosperity that was blocked will now flow freely, and you will experience blessings that will allow you to bless others abundantly. In your relationships, God will not only heal what was broken, but will multiply the love and support you receive. The loneliness you felt will be replaced with authentic and supportive connections. Those who walked away will come back with hearts full of repentance and restoration. New friendships and partnerships will flourish, and they will be aligned with your destiny and purpose. And in your spiritual life, God is preparing to release a greater anointing upon you. Your gifts will be activated in a new way. Your faith will be strengthened, and your prayers will be more powerful. As you step into your divine calling, you will feel the fullness of God's presence in your life like never before. The favor that surrounds you will draw others to you, and you will be positioned to help lead them toward the truth of God's love and purpose. Beloved, this is your season of divine protection and overflowing favor. The forces that sought to harm you have been repelled, and the spiritual armies of heaven have ensured that you are safe and protected. As you walk forward, know that the favor of God will be poured out upon you in every area of your life, financially, relationally, and spiritually. Your ancestors' protection is upon you, and they are actively interceding on your behalf. Their prayers have shielded you from harm and have paved the way for you to step into a season of abundant blessings. God's divine favor is aligning everything in your life, and what was once held back is now being released. The restoration you've longed for is coming in greater measure, and God is positioning you for a season of elevation. Walk confidently, beloved. Divine protection surrounds you, and favor is upon you. This is your time to step into the fullness of your calling and to experience the overflow of God's blessings in your life. Everything that was taken from you will be returned, and more will be added to you. The best is yet to come, and heaven has already prepared the way for you to walk in divine victory. Beloved, the time has come for the final vindication to unfold. All the struggles you have faced, the battles you have fought, and the trials that have seemed endless, all of them have led to this moment. You have endured, you have remained faithful, and now the moment of victory is upon you. Heaven has seen your perseverance, and divine justice is now being served. Your enemies, those who sought to tear you down, those who plotted in the shadows, and those who doubted you, are now in disarray. The forces that came against you have been defeated, and now you stand, not in defeat, but in victory. The journey has not been easy, beloved. You have faced betrayals, misunderstandings, and heartbreaks. You have been tested in ways that many could not comprehend, but you have made it. The attacks that were meant to destroy you have only refined you, and the betrayals that once cut deep have only made you stronger. You have withstood the storm, and now the clouds are parting, revealing the sunshine of divine victory. This victory is not just for you, it is for your lineage, your ancestors, and for everyone who believed in you when no one else would. They have prayed for you, interceded on your behalf, and now they are witnessing the fulfillment of God's promises to you. This is the moment when you step into the fullness of your calling, when the favor of heaven is poured out upon your life like never before. The vindication is complete. God's hand has been upon you, and now it is evident to all. Everything that has been stolen from you, the relationships, the finances, the health, and even the spiritual peace that you've lost along the way will be returned to you, multiplied and restored. Nothing that was taken from you in the past will remain lost. God is not just bringing back what you've lost, He is restoring it to you with abundance. The blessings that have been held up, the promises that have been delayed, will now manifest in your life in ways that will exceed your wildest expectations. God's restoration is not just about making things right, it is about making things better. What was lost will now be multiplied. Relationships that were once broken or strained will be restored. Financial struggles will cease, and you will walk in abundance. Health that was once compromised will be renewed, and your spiritual peace will be reestablished. God will make you whole spirit, soul, and body, and you will walk in the fullness of the life He has destined for you. As you step into this new season of divine victory, know that you are walking in divine purpose. The season of struggle, of confusion, and of waiting is now behind you. You have been faithful, and now God is rewarding you for your obedience. This is the season where everything aligns. The divine timing that has been in motion all along is now manifesting in your life. God's will is now fully aligned with your destiny. What was once closed off to you, what seemed impossible, will now be made possible as you walk in obedience and faith. The doors that once seemed locked tight will now open wide before you. No longer will you face closed opportunities. Divine favor will open the right doors, and divine favor will keep those doors open for you. The enemies that once blocked your progress will now be removed from your path. God is making a way where there seems to be no way. The obstacles you once faced will fall away, and you will walk forward with divine confidence, knowing that God has already prepared the way. This is the season of elevation. A season where you will rise in the places where you once felt stuck. Where you will shine in the areas where you once faced darkness. You have entered into a season of favor, and God is positioning you for promotion, for blessing, and for victory. You will walk forward in confidence, knowing that heaven's favor is upon you. Beloved, The favor of God will be evident in every area of your life. It will go before you, making crooked paths straight and leveling mountains that once seemed insurmountable. The grace of God will cover you like a shield, and no matter where you go, you will experience the overflow of His blessings. Now, beloved, I urge you to step forward with boldness. Walk in the victory that has been won for you. The battle is over, and you stand as a conqueror. Divine victory has already been secured, and the favor of God is surrounding you. The testimony of your life is not one of defeat, but of divine restoration and elevation. You have endured the trial, and now you are walking in the victory that God has promised you. Let go of any lingering doubts, fears, or insecurities. Trust the process and trust God's plan. The challenges you have faced are behind you. The hurt, the disappointment, and the rejection are things of the past. You are stepping into a new season, one where divine favor surrounds you, where the doors of opportunity are wide open, and where you will walk in divine purpose like never before. The path ahead is one of great blessing and great purpose. Walk boldly into it. God has equipped you for what is coming next. This is your season of breakthrough, elevation, and divine favor. Trust that God's divine justice has been carried out on your behalf, and the enemy is defeated. Your enemies cannot follow you into this new season. They cannot touch the blessings and favor that God is now releasing over your life. As you step into this new season, I encourage you to let go of any past hurts, disappointments, and regrets. God has vindicated you, and it is time to release the pain that you have carried. The hurt you have felt, the betrayals that have wounded your heart, and the doubts that have lingered in your mind, it's time to release them. God is making all things new in your life, and you cannot step into your future if you are holding on to the pain of your past. God's divine justice has already unfolded. You have been vindicated, and the restoration you are walking into is not just a physical or emotional one, it is spiritual as well. As you let go of the past and trust in God's perfect timing, you will feel the peace and freedom that comes from knowing that God is in control. Beloved, your path is now clear. You have walked through the storms, and you are now standing on solid ground. Your divine purpose is clear, and you are stepping into the fullness of your calling. This moment is not the end of the journey, but the beginning of a new chapter, one where God's favor, blessing, and purpose will continue to unfold in your life. The ancestors' favor is upon you, and they stand with you, interceding on your behalf, ensuring that the path ahead is filled with victory and favor. Walk forward with confidence, beloved. Your divine destiny is waiting for you. You have been chosen for this moment, and now it's time to step into the victory that has already been won. Heaven's favor is upon you, and nothing can stand in the way of the blessings that are about to unfold. The best is yet to come, and God is with you every step of the way. Walk boldly, walk confidently, and know that you are walking in divine victory. The battle is over, and the victory is yours. Beloved, your divine victory is now a reality. Walk forward with the confidence that heaven has already prepared the way. You are no longer bound by the past. You are walking in freedom and divine purpose, and the future that God has prepared for you is filled with abundant blessings, peace, and restoration. Step into the fullness of your calling, knowing that divine justice has been done, and the favor of God surrounds you. The best is yet to come, and this is the season of victory, restoration, and elevation for the chosen one. The time is now, beloved. Embrace the new season with faith, knowing that heaven's favor will guide you every step of the way.